Hey, what is going on, the Bad Samaritan podcast? It's your boy, Chava. Over the phone today, your co-host, Sam. How you feeling?
What up? What up? I'm feeling good, baby. 3-0, baby.
3-0. Feels fucking great. Miss Jimmy. I can't, erase that face in my mind when I say feels great anymore. But, yeah, what a wonderful week. I know it was a short week, but I feel like it went awesome for us. We performed. A lot of questions and a lot of concerns were answered. And let's just dive into it, no?
Let's get it.
All right. Let's talk about this offense, man. Bro, we destroyed 30 points plus with Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's the one. Let's start off. What'd you like about Brock?
Man. Yeah, I think, what is this? At least in the last 3 games, he's dropped 30. He's getting the ball out quick. They blitzed a lot. I don't have the percentages right in front of me, but he handled those well. He looks good. He's making some nice passes. I know there's a lot of criticism there about lack of deep ball, or I don't know what's going on out there, but the pass to Ronnie Bell on the left-hand side was a dime. The pass to Debo on the right-hand side was another beautiful pass. It was very similar to the Ayuk one against the Steelers. He's just making the right leads, not turning the ball over, just doing what he's supposed to do, playing within the offense and executing Kyle Shanahan's plan. It's like a broke man's Kirk Cousins, I guess, in a way. I was making the jokes about, if the Vikings keep losing, we might end up with Kirk Cousins at the trade deadline. But I don't see a need for it with Brock Purdy. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Questions are being answered. I think if we can't win it with this team, I don't think it'll be because of him. I think it'll be because of lack of pass protection up front. But he's mitigating that himself by how quickly he's going through his reads and executing the game plan that Kyle's giving him.
Yeah, I think I echo a lot of those because, Brock's looking amazing. I think our team is able to win with him. I think we did find our franchise quarterback, although he's not a huge name or anybody crazy. He just makes the right decisions when the time is given. And last week we saw some overthrown balls that we were mad about. This week we didn't see much of opportunity of those, but I don't think it's much of a detriment to our team as well as I thought Jimmy Garoppolo was, where some things just couldn't happen. And when the time came to it, we couldn't count on a player like that. Brock Purdy gives me no type of emotions or energy like that. I feel like the team around him is playing great with him, and I think he's also facilitating the ball really well. As you said, those throws to Ronnie Bell and to Debo were top tier, elite quarterback throws. But just so the overall offense in general, I think this is like the type of engine that I want to be running for the rest of the regular season. I, bless up Kyle for listening to us last episode and rotating those running backs in. We got to see some Mitchell. We got to see some other backs. We got to see some Debo runs. He's looking amazing. I think last week I kind of mentioned where Debo is he's kind of interchangeable with CMC, but he's just a receiver. But we saw Debo having an amazing Debo-esque game, He sweeps this way, sweeps that way, slants, taking extra yards. Debo's playing exactly how we expected after we pay him. And I'm enjoying how this offense is looking. Let's talk about the blitzes that we saw in the protection. How did you think we managed that?
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little concerned about it. I didn't see the scores in terms of like how the line did against them. I was happy in terms of how quickly we got the ball off. I'm assuming that was part of the game plan, that the teams are going to continue to blitz. So I'm expecting to see a lot more of that from these other teams. So I'm not surprised. I think ultimately that's going to be what this season's going to come down to, is our ability to manage the blitz up the middle through that guard and center position, especially on that right-hand side. Kind of to what you're saying, though, is some of the things that we can do schematically, like what you mentioned with Debo. I don't even think it's the motions. I think there are a couple of plays where CMC just straight up lined up in the slot and Debo lined up in the backfield. No motion, no anything. Just set him up and go. And I think just doing some of those kind of window dressing things on the part of the game plan is going to give hopefully the defensive line enough to pause before they can just kind of turn their head down and rush. I think we also have we're very fortunate to have Kyle Juszczyk in the backfield. Very smart player. I think between him and CMC, we got Harvard and Stanford back there. They clean up for a lot of the messes that the offensive line sometimes makes. But honestly, like if I'm comparing to like preseason or whatever, like these guys are doing the best they can. And since as fans, we don't really have an understanding of what the blocking assignments or what things are supposed to look like, it's hard for us to be able to like accurately gauge the pass protection. But for the amount of blitz and pressures that they threw at us, I thought Brock and the team handled them really well. Getting the ball in space, some yards after the catch. I think Jawan Jennings had like a really nice, like they put us in third and long situations quite a few times. And I remember there's this pass, I think it was like for 12 yards on third and long. And Jawan just like went up and just mossed it out of the air over pretty good coverage on his behalf. So I think holistically, like, both in terms of blocking assignments, backs running routes, and Brock making throws, I think they handled the blitz pretty well.
Yeah, I'm completely satisfied with how our offense is performing. 39 rushing attempts this game. I love those numbers. Let's keep this up. Let's keep this trend going against all these other teams. And let's transition over to defense. What a defensive game that we had. We had a Bosa sack, Bosa's first sack of the year. Bless up. Almost a safety, but they robbed my boy. Um, you know, Hardgrave, Armstead, and all the boys up front getting some great pressures in. I think we were saying 3 pressures each for the entire
Yep.
first defensive line. Uh, I
Yep.
am I'm incredibly impressed of what how we did that compared to last game, where we really saw no rush getting to Matt Stafford or anybody. We were like, dang, maybe this defensive line isn't there anymore. This last game, everybody looks fast. Maybe it's because the Giants are just not as talented or whatever it was. We were looking quick this game. It gave me, those D Ford flashbacks when the whole team would just rush to the quarterback. Um, the only thing that I want to knock on the defense is just this red zone. Red zone run defense isn't optimal where I want it to be. I want some stops where I think our big man like Javon Kinlaw or someone like Armstead should be able to stuff the hole. But it happens. It happens. Matt Breda knows us. He knows our holes. He knows where to run, and he's actually a good back too. Just kind of a little ball security guy. But how do you think about our defense this week?
Yeah, those are good call outs. I think when I was thinking about what my opinion was of Steve Wilkes and his philosophy, I was almost thinking this is not a knock on him or anything, but I was thinking about a lot of the Mike Singletary, like bend but don't break, where we might be, or even then a little bit of like Robert Sala's first season with us, where a lot of people were like mad at him that we were letting up a bunch of rushes. Um, I see all things that need to be cleaned up. I think the D line needs to kind of gel a little bit better and play a little bit closer in terms of the gaps so that the linebackers can get in there and close things up. But I mean, overall, I think we're a better team than the Giants in terms of like that trench matchup. We almost did to them what what the Rams are kind of doing, what we were trying to do with the Rams, and the Rams were picking apart on us. And I think we just, we executed a lot better, and we were to get back to Daniel Jones. There was that funny little gif for me that was out there of Daniel Jones like looking at the defensive pass rush and like clearly unsure of what to do. And I totally empathize with him. They weren't really getting a lot going on the ground. They were moving some a little bit, but we were covering things up pretty well. But yeah, I think my only uneasiness is I just don't feel like I know what's going to happen with the defense. I thought Oliver overall had a pretty good game in the secondary. There's some good plays back there. I think the team's stuck kind of finding itself. I still feel that we have like maybe a gap at corner. The left side kind of gets picked on, but it might be that side's going to kind of step up over the next couple of weeks. I see a lot of kind of off coverage off that side. Not a lot of attention happening on Chopper Ward's side, which is fine and expected. Also, Greenlaw is very active. I kind of thought I saw another look at it where supposedly he had that hit out of bounds, but he was still in there and um, they hadn't blown the whistle. So I like that kind of aggressiveness. I think I saw Burke back there. We're running a 4-3. Guys are flying around. I think the defense is only going to get better. And, the good thing is they had the extra long rest this week. I believe our bye week is in early November. So hopefully, this team is only going to go as far as injuries allow us to go. And I'm hoping that these guys can stay healthy. I think Bosa being out there is really helping the other guys eat. I'm pretty sure Javon Kinlaw is going to have a career season this year. And for those out there that want to get rid of him, just because you draft somebody high up and they don't meet expectations doesn't mean that they're not losing a role for them on the team. And the fact that it is that the contract seems to work out, and we might still get some salvage use out of him just yet. So you don't want to say it's over before it is.
Uh, couldn't disagree with you more. I think Javon Kinlaw is not going to get the contract, at least with the 49ers, that he's going to be expected, unless he takes less money just because of production standpoint. But I do think I do agree with
I'm
you
not
that
worried about the money, bro. Who cares about the money? I'm talking about the production. I'm saying that this season, I think on the field, Javon Kinlaw is going to deliver the performances that we've been needing him to over the last couple seasons. The performance that when we saw him in that Eagles game last season, when he was getting like pushed off the line into the fucking third level, I'm hoping that's not going to happen anymore. Because from what I'm seeing, this guy looks lighter. He's playing in a position that works for him, and he has playmates around him that are significantly better, that are allowing him to use his one or two moves to get to where he needs to go. And what happens after this, I don't care. I'm just saying that if all I'm going to get is one season, if all I'm going to get out of Javon Kinlaw is 18 or 20 weeks of whatever it is left, I'm okay with that.
yeah, I think you're right. I think Javon Kinlaw is going to have a better production season as of the past. Saying that he's going to have a career high season is pretty setting the bar kind of low compared to where he was. But I think you're right. I think he's on pace to be the best Javon Kinlaw he's ever been on the 49ers. I can't wait for him to be. I definitely do need him. Uh, need him to get it going, and I needed to get him going. Need to get him quick because these guys up front, this is only week 3. Luckily, we don't have any defensive line injuries. But talking about injuries real quick, we have Debo with those ribs. We have BA out, and we have Greenlaw out, who's a linebacker too. Um, and well, he's not out, but he's just kind of day to day with a hamstring, I believe. Just typical 49ers stuff. We got to get used to it. But I think our team this year is just really, really deep. It's really impressive what we could do with all these late round picks. Um, but I just wish that everybody else could, stay healthy for January or for early December when we need to get into that wild card maybe if we're not that good. But I think we're gonna be all right. I think we're gonna make a good run this year. But let's transfer this over to special teams, man. Special teams is looking great, which is strange to hear from the 49ers. Jake Moody, what happened? What did we do to Jake Moody? I think Jake Moody started, I don't know, reading some Twitter messages, or was hearing the media, and he hit the gym, bro. He went to involuntary camp and started knocking him down. He was 3 for 3 this game. Um, medium, short range, nothing super long, nothing 40 yards plus yet, but Jake Moody's looking amazing. I like what Mitch is doing. Mitch is putting the ball in good spots. I haven't seen any really shanks in these last 2 games. Special teams is going at it, and I think we've had couple of penalties on just getting the ball back when we punt off, because our gunners are just eager to get the tackle, which that needs to be cleaned up. But I love what I'm seeing about special teams. How about you?
Same, man. I know whatever the preseason was what it was, but Jake Moody has been 3 for 3 for all his kicks over the last 3 games. For everyone that was talking smack about drafting the kicker in the draft, fuck now, fuck now. All right. You know, he might have some misses later on, but right now it's working out, and that's all we can ask for. Ultimately, I was like, oh, why don't keep Robbie or whatever? But you guys know it's like there's a game that's played on the field, and there's a game that's played in the boardroom, and the 49ers have to play that strategic level of master three-dimensional chess between salary cap, resource constraints, the on-the-field product, and Jake Moody over Robbie Gould was just a salary cap decision. You gotta find ways to hit on your draft picks to make them work out on the field. You can keep your cost per player low. I don't know what the metric is internally, how they track that. But, that's why things like the Brock deal of him being, point whatever percent of the overall cap is so important, because that's the difference between an open playoff window versus a window that's cracking open versus something that's completely shut. And, I think the way our cap structure is set up, we have about 3 seasons to make something really good happen with the way this is set up, right? That's pending some other changes down the line. And we take advantage of that. So, The fact that Moody is hitting and that special teams is not an issue, that's a huge win. Because we saw what happened to the Chicago Bears a couple of seasons ago when they had that great defense and a decent offense, and they were one kick away from really doing something with that team. And so that doesn't seem to be a fit for us. It seems like the whole part of the operation with Mitch Wisnowski and everything is working. So more to come on special teams. I'm hoping for some bigger returns though. I want some pops. I know ever since they moved those yardages back, a lot of fair catches and whatnot. But I want to see one of our guys break one. We got some speed out there, and seeing Miami drop 70, it kind of makes me want to drop some more.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I want to see some of our speedsters get at it. I know Ray Ray's doing good. Hopefully Gray can get back soon. Even Ronnie Bell, I saw him back there one day, for one play. But yeah, I think that's the only complaint I have with special teams is we're not getting extra yards that we that we should be getting. But can't complain about extras. Let's talk about the three beasts in the NFL right now. That's us, Miami, and Philly. The only 3-0 teams. I think it speaks a lot of our high power offenses, all three of us. Um, there was another team that was going to be on that board, the Dallas Cowboys, with that amazing defense that, you know,
Womp
some
womp.
just chunked it to our next week's opponents, the Cardinals. What are you thinking about the Cardinals?
Man, a lot there. First off, ha 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 to the Cowboys. But they're a good team. They're going to be in the playoffs. Probably a wild card. I don't see them beating Philadelphia. Um, that defense is just too good, even though they've lost Diggs. But the Cardinals, man, they're a wild card. I think our good friend Brian always says, the trap game and being the next game. And I definitely think that Cardinals game might be a trap game for us. Obviously, I'm going to always pick my team to win. That's just the home team in me. But we got to take them lightly. But assuming that we have the extra long week of rest, the fact is that we'll be able to watch this tape that they just had versus the Cowboys twice. For both Cardinal and Cowboy preps, since we have the Cowboys right after. I think this team's going to be ready. There's some side stories in there with Steve Wilkes actually still in the Cardinals organization he used to work for. So I know he's going to want to come out there and prove something. Their quarterback over there doesn't have any eyebrows, so it's going to be hard for him to see what's coming. And I'm expecting everybody on that defensive side to get one sack. So that's what I'm predicting. I'm predicting double-digit sacks this next game. They're going to try to run it on us. Last season I think we pretty much swept the entire NFC West, so I know they're going to be thirsty. There's a good game plan out there in terms of what the Rams did to us that they might try to emulate, but I don't think they'll be able to do that. So. What's up, Birds? We see you, bro. We coming. What's up?
No, I think this game's going to be personal too. And I think that's how our players should take it, especially after this long week. I don't want to see, I don't want to see any lagging. I don't want to see any walking on the field. I want to just see straight, aggressive hits, runs. I need to run the board on the Cardinals, especially after what they did to the Cowboys. This is the statement game not only for us, but for the entire league. Um, I'm predicting a score of, dare I say 30 points, 30 plus. But I think the Cardinals actually do score. I think they do run it well against us. Our run defense has been kind of iffy here and there. But let's say I'm going to give them 15 points. But I think we still win by 15 plus. I think our offense is going to dominate this game. Hopefully everybody comes out of this game healthy, and I can't wait to watch.
My prediction is going to be 35-21.
All right. That's the Basketball Podcast. We'll talk to you guys next week. Ciao.
Peace.